Shalom to the body of Christ. Back again with another quick little lesson, edifying the people. 12 tribes of Israel, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous people. You are God's chosen people, God's children. And we'll bring it out. Let's go to the mighty book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 7. And it reads as follows. Babylon, which we know is the West, the United States of America, so-called Canada, Australia, the Western countries, Israel, the Zionists, Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. Remember, the Lord controls the evil and the good. That made all the earth drunken. Now everybody comes and tries to participate in Babylon's sin, in Babylon's exploitation, in Babylon's enslavement of the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous people. The nations have drunken of her wine. So the wine represents, all these false doctrines, Christianity, Catholicism, feminism, Freemasonry, all just the demonic, evil, Zionist agenda, Kabbalistic, one world order. They're all buying into this fake delusion, right? White supremacy, oppression, genocide. They're all drunk off the wine. All these nations come here on stolen indigenous land, genocidal land, and they try to benefit, they try to profit off of the backs of the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous people. That's where they come from. So they're getting drunk. That means they're getting drunk. They're drinking the Kool-Aid. They're buying into all the delusion, all the fakeness, all the delusion, all the narcissism, all the exploitation, all the slavery, all the genocide. They come from all over the world in the name of for a better life, right? At the expense of the millions of people who not only died, that are still dying in that land today. Therefore, the nations are mad. People go crazy. People come over here, just like the first Europeans did when they came over here. They abandoned their families, they abandoned their lives, they abandoned their roots, they abandoned their culture, and they disconnect from it. As soon as there's nothing that distances people like space. When you're far away from somebody or something, it's hard to be connected to that thing. We need to be close to it. So the scriptures right here, Jeremiah 51:7, the prophet here is prophesying the fall of Babylon and saying the nations are mad, they're crazy. They coming over here and they become feminists. They coming over here, abandoning their, ancient countries and cultures that have been around for thousands of years, and they come to this so-called country, which is really a corporation. So-called Canada is only 153 years old. Then they give it all up to come here and become a dog mom. What kind of a life is that? Unbelievable. Give me a break. That's why the Most High is judging this place. That's why it's filled with so much confusion. That's why the Zionists are controlling this place. The Epsteins, the Trumps. Look at Donald Trump, exposed for doing the most atrocious acts. And everybody's acting around like nothing even happened. Because you guys are so brainwashed and accustomed to the so-called white man performing all these acts of degenerate behavior that is just normal for y'all. What is going on? Imagine you were back home in your country, wherever you come from, the Middle East, Africa, Europe even. What if your guys' leaders were being exposed on these files? What would happen to them? I'll wait. Tell me, what would happen to them? You see Trump, he's at the UFC shaking hands with Joe Rogan. What the hell? What the hell is this? What's going on here, people? What are we living in? Like the scriptures talk about. Y'all done, Babylon just defiled the land. You done turned this place into a freaking circus. That's what this place is. It's a Zionist, Freemasonic circus. What y'all done did. Y'all done took the sacred land that the Most High gave to the indigenous people, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, indigenous people. You know, he had them in righteousness. He had them with families. He had them keeping the laws of God. You know, he had them worshiping him, praising him, provided them everything they needed. And y'all just came here, invited everybody here, uninvited guests, and he done tore the place up, made a mockery of the Most High. Now he's mad. Now he's sending his horsemen on the earth. Now y'all getting judged. And you better watch out too, because he's going to judge your country back home too, where you came from, for what y'all doing to his children here in this land. Yeah, you may not have done it directly, but you are benefiting from the land and the genocide of the people in the land. How are you going to say free Palestine when you live in stolen, genocidal, traditional, indigenous land? If you're going to say free Palestine, you got to say free the indigenous people as well. Look at the indigenous people here. Look at them, locked up in jail, homeless, in their own land, in their own traditional territory, no resources shared with them, and you all say things to them like, oh, but you get free schooling. Okay, so let's break that down. Okay, so you're gonna wipe out millions of my people, steal our children, steal our land, and give us schooling, and we're supposed to just say, thank you? Give me a break. What the hell is this? Give me a break. What is wrong with these people? Something's seriously wrong. That's what Babylon does. You guys are drunk off the Babylonian wine. This is what being drunk off Babylonian wine, what the Most High is talking about through the prophet Jeremiah. All the nations come here and drunk off the wine. As an indigenous person, walking in my streets and not seeing any of my people around is weird. It's strange. It's like everybody's here and everybody's the majority except for the true owners of the land, the true indigenous people of the land. There's more dog moms than indigenous people in the land. What does that tell you? Make that make sense.